Yeah, I'm back at y'all, man. I'm here again, man, just try to enlighten, man, and talk about the issues. I had a good time over the weekend. I had a good time. My auntie showed out. My daddy's just comical as can be, and my uncle. Boy, I would have loved to have been around them when they was about 35, just to see them knuckle it out. Two men knuckling it out. But I think they say my uncle used to whoop on my daddy once he got older, but my daddy gonna have something to say about that. But we gonna get to the bottom of it, Dad. Let me know if they telling me the truth or not. But anyway, I had an awesome time, man, with them folks. I was over in Illinois and I was over in Wisconsin. Y'all saw the photos, so I'm hoping that y'all know that I was being honest. All I can do is talk about my experiences and the things that other people put out there. Man, I have never seen so much cowardice in my life. And I'm thinking now, the reason I haven't seen so much cowardice in my life, because I wasn't in the church all my life. And now that I'm paying attention, I'm not just listening for the scripture anymore. I'm not just listening for the message and how you tell it. Now I got to go back and fact check if you said what you said was truthful or not. And I'm finding out that these so-called Christians that say they believe, that say they love, that say they, ain't gonna falter at all. In the eyes of God, in the eyes of Jesus, I'm seeing that they have no kind of mental capacity to have a conversation that's not to their liking. Did you get that? They cannot have a conversation about any topic that's not to their liking. Those are Democrats. And how we're getting caught up in this so easily, we was not taught to accept rationale as a principle. We was not taught to identify that which do not work in the conversations, y'all. We weren't taught it. That's why a lot of us right now have no business in the positions that we're in. We was not taught humility. We weren't taught to be nice. We weren't taught to be respectful. And I'm not talking wealthy people. I didn't come from a wealthy family. I think we would be considered at the time very poor financially. Hold on, very, very poor. So I didn't come from an area where we had successful people around us that was willing to be around us and talk with us and show us things. I come from a place where everybody was broke. And now as I look back as an elder, I see all the garbage I see all the garbage that was put on the kitchen table for us to eat off of and around. And boy, did they get it right when they said that we are surrounded on all sides by opposition, misinformed, miseducated. And now, so in depth with your understanding of what right is, that you cannot have a mere conversation with respect and honor for the person that you're talking to. We're in dark times. And I want to point out one thing, because I made that statement, we're in dark times. The darker the times get, the stronger the men gonna get. And the stronger men get, the more earth that he move out of his way. We all thinking that this gonna end peacefully. In fact, most of us not even thinking that there's a fight, a war that's getting ready to happen. And for the ones that do, they think it's gonna end peacefully. It ain't gonna end with slavery, that I can tell you. It's not gonna end with slavery. It's gonna probably end with black and white folks standing hand in hand, fighting against the true beast of the United States. And that is the puppet masters, the one that's in control. We're gonna find out, all of us, we're finding out, all of us, that they lied. They turned black people against white people in the name of success. They turned white people against black people in the name of a better future for themselves. They used to say that they didn't like us. This is what the big wigs put out, the puppet masters put out, that the black folks was coming for the white folks' jobs. And now with this Kamala Harris and Joe Biden thing, they're using the same playbook to say that the immigrants now is coming for the black jobs. Well, Rick, what is a black job? What the hell was a white job? But they said we was coming for the white jobs. And now they saying the immigrants is coming for the black jobs. They scare tactics, y'all. That's what it is. They scare tactics to get you to vote for the party that's assaulting you, that's got you in bondage. I heard the little white lady on there this morning, should I say not little, but older white lady on there this morning say, they've always used the Ku Klux Klan and Antifa, the people that come in and bring about terror when they get there. Those both are Democratic policies. Those are Democratic people that's doing that. So when you see the Ku Klux Klan running up and burning crosses in people's front yard, them was Democrats. You do know that, right? The history is out there. Those were Democrats. Those people that throwing rocks at the Trump rallies and, burning up cities like in Minneapolis and, those are Democratic people. Again, when you look at these Democratic-run states, those are the people that's in trouble by way of the party. Have you looked at Chicago? Have you heard the residents of Chicago complaining about the immigrants that the Democratic Party that y'all getting ready to vote in, lock in? Have you heard about what the people, the black poor communities is going through in Chicago? Have you heard about the $20,000 they giving them free? Democrats? Have you heard about the food stamps that they giving them so they can live? $5,000 worth of? You think they working for your best interest? No. They're working for someone else's best interest. Have you heard about all the tents that they building for immigrants? They building the tents for immigrants. They'll kick you out the place where you lay your head at right now. But they building a tent for somebody that they're going to use to replace you. It's an investment. It's an investment against you. And you finna vote for a policy of people, an investment that's going to harm you, your children, and your grandchildren. For crying out loud, man, the guy put tampons in the boys' bathroom. That's what they're doing. Why would you support something like that? This woman been locked up a man I just watched on social media this morning. They say they didn't say it, he said it. That she laughed at him in the courtroom as they were sending him off to prison. Of course, he's out because they had to sue the state in order to take it to the federal government so that man can be released. But she laughed at him. Okay, I'm going to say it one last time today. You got to get somewhere and find you a men's group because the church is not helping us. You need to get somewhere and find you a woman's group that's designed to help women, train women, suggest to women what is the best way to go about exercising their thought process to accomplish the goals and dreams that they're trying to accomplish. You need a woman's group for that. Church is not that for us what it used to be. Church is not for us like it once was, because we once understood that we was meeting at church for a reason. And it wasn't Jesus. It wasn't God. We started meeting up at church to try to figure out how do we get their foot off of our neck. Where do you think the glass and the food came from? They was feeding to the slave masters. It came from church. Now y'all using church to hurt yourself and not use it for the intention that it was rightfully, well, what we rightfully started going for. And that was to figure out in private how to stop being murdered. And now you want to convince me that the church is for me and mine, and yet the church do nothing for me and mine but tell us something negative. It tell us what we are not. It tell us where we are going. The only thing church tell you which appears to be good in the church, Jesus, God. According to them, nothing else is good. Nothing else that you do. Nothing else that you try. It's all meaningless. Democratic black churches. And you wonder why we ain't got no control over our children. You wonder why we can't talk to one another. You wonder why we can't fix no problems. You wonder why we can't come up with a solution. Because the church have put in our membranes, like it or not, you don't question it. You take it in faith. That's what the church have done to us. So we're not trying to figure out solutions. We under the assumption that we don't have to do anything. Why? Because God got us. But God gave it to you. God put it in your hand. God told you to go and multiply the earth. God told you to go and sanction. Woo-wee. Take care of the garden. The garden is the earth. And what do? You take it and you use it against me. When it should not be used in a stick form, it should be used in an education form. But most of the churches now is whooping on what they call the non-believers, because that in terms is a scare tactic for the believers. Meaning they've got you. They want to keep you through fear. What about your grandbabies? Have you heard anything in there that will help your grandbaby? Have you heard anything in there that'll help your baby? Have you heard any suggestions in there the way we need to do this or do that? Outside of Jesus or God? Because understand, they put us in the world. And supposedly how Christians get to the next level is how they perform in the world. And yet your pastor ain't got nothing to say to you, got nothing to give you about the world. And this whole thing is predicated on you be able to understand, navigate into a good place to where they say what you sow here on earth, you also sow in heaven. That's what they say. So if this what you sowing here on earth, what I can't be, what I ain't, this what you taking before God, you don't have no solutions. The pastor didn't give you no solution to fix not now one of your problems. And that's what you're going to take to God? You better hope I'm not the one. I'm so serious when I tell you, man, look, it might sound a little comical, but you better make sure, hope that I'm not the one that's doing the signing of who go here and who, yeah. Because I've been standing on truth. I've been standing on facts. As the young boys say, I've been standing on business since I got out the penitentiary. I've been standing on business. And when you're standing on business, guess what people do? They turn their head and go the other way. You know why they do that? Because they freaking cowards. They've been raised in the church to let somebody else do their bidding and they tied and form. Ain't got no back, ain't got no spine, ain't got no nuts. Ain't nothing but a coward. And I can go take you back to the book of Deuteronomy, and the first thing God told Moses in that book was to fear not. And here you got now in the church a bunch of cowards talking about Donald Trump gonna take us back to slavery. You talking about somebody in the office for 4 years getting ready to uproot, destroy, tear up everything in 4 years and put you back in slavery. You's a coward if you're thinking like that. Who told you that? Who told you he had the power to muster up and do something like that? He ain't even got the authority to do nothing like that. But yet you cowards is spreading that fear amongst the people. In fact, I had one of my brothers yesterday. In fact, he ain't even a brother. He's more like family than a brother. You know what I mean? I'm talking about real family. I ain't talking about just no fake brother stuff. We interconnected through marriages and stuff like that. So he like family. And this educated man told me that if Donald Trump get elected, he's gonna put us back in slavery. And that he was gonna leave the country. Well, I would like to suggest to you, if you get in office, if you don't leave the country before he get in office, well, you probably won't be leaving anyway, dum-dum. It ain't like they finna let you go after he get in office. What's wrong with y'all? But these are the scare tactics that these Democrats, these Christians, these coward people is running on the rest of the black folks because they ain't got nothing going for themselves. They scared of everything. Everything they're afraid of. Hold on, I'm going to call it true. 78-year-old white man. His name is Donald J. Trump, and you petrified of that. What about 8 years ago when he was in office? Did he mention anything about putting you in slavery? Did he tell the black folks that they couldn't have none of the PPP loan money, even if they sheltered in or not? Did he stop the black folks from getting any kind of money by way of small businesses or whatever? No, he didn't do none of that. But here you people is running around trying to discredit a system that worked for you, worked for yours. You want to discredit that system and opt out for the system that is going to sit a woman in the White House, when scripture tells you that as woman is not supposed to be in charge of men. But you're going to put her over the military of men. That's what you're trying to do. We're going against our own thought process. Again, she married to a white man. I'm going to say it again. Once you marry a white person, you lose your black card. And yet you're still ready to put her in office. You get mad at a black man for having a black woman and raising some black kids that don't belong to him. But here you is now, because it's so-called a black woman, and I guarantee you she's not black, she's an Indian. They showed me some European South Africans that's in Africa, that was born in Africa, that live in Africa, and they are South Africans according to the law in the place where they are at. But you and I both know that there's a European that was born in Africa and they still had a white skin. That's a European. And if they go anywhere outside of Africa, they're going to get treated like a European. Kamala Harris came through the Indian, so-called Indian understanding of she is not black. She always carried her Indian heritage. But now all of a sudden, they want the few last remaining black votes that they can get before they run these illegal immigrants in, because they see we turning away from the Democratic that's keeping poor folks poor. We're turning away from the agenda. So now they got to replace you with some people. And believe me, when I tell you, they don't have your best interests at heart. The only people that have your best interests at heart is the ones they done turned you against, and them the ones that look like you and I. That's what they've done. Most of us can't even get along with their own men in our house now, because somebody taught them outside the house. As my pastor would say, woo! somebody done taught you something outside the house, and now you done brung it in here and disrupt your whole house, and now your kids is running wild, wife sleeping with somebody else, man got 2 girlfriends behind. Woo! That's what you're signing up for. You gotta get behind you and support one another. Get out the church. The church that did everything, including sunk our battleship. That's why us men don't want to go, because we see what it is. They screwing our women, and the women are screwing the kids and walking away from the men. The women are screwing the kids. Hold on, man. You think I don't know what I'm talking about? Look at your kids. Assess your children. After all that you taught them, look at where they at. Just because you can't do it by yourself. You excluded your man. You excluded your man out your family, out the life. You ain't respecting. You ain't honoring them. Last thing before I go, man, I know I've been on here way too long. But I stopped by my man's house yesterday. Educated. I wasn't going to his house. I was just going by his house. He just happened to be bagging out the driveway at the time I was going by his house. Boy, and this man here, man, made me feel like it gave me such an eerie feeling, because I've been hearing it all along. I've been seeing it on social media all along. How we are gonna vote for her regardless because of her skin tone. We don't even care nothing about what she's done. We voting for her because she's a woman and because of skin tone. Well, let me tell you this, especially all you black women. The Democratic Party is the one that split up the black family, and now you want to put a woman in that's going to lock up men, us in particular, have locked us up in particular, knowing, according to Scripture, which says, 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 12, women are not supposed to be in charge over men. You're going to go against the Scripture. You're going to go against, and hold on. We ain't even finna go against the Scripture. We just going to say, you're going to take everything that you know is right and true and throw it out the window for this woman that don't have our back. These boule clubs is for boule people. You should not never listen to a rich person tell you about life. Never. You're not looking at it through the same lens. A rich person has no business telling you nothing about nothing. What you ought to do, and this gonna be the last thing, and that is go find a poor black man that have been through the trenches, that might still be in the mud, and talk to him. I guarantee you get more out of talking to him than you're going to get out of him, rich person, him, preacher, him, somebody that you think talking about truth. You're going to get more out of that black man that done been through, that's going through, that might be still in it. You're going to get more truth out of him than you can out of everybody else that you know. You think I'm playing? Try it and holler at your boy.